Okay guys, I wanted to take you along for a quick dry fire practice and just show you some things that I might do when I have a little bit of time to myself to do them. My baby's asleep, so I can't do live fire practice, but dry fire is something I can do pretty much all the time. So let's start with a draw to first shot and then a reload, just to practice my draw and my reloads real quick. I've got kind of a pad down here so I can drop my mags. I don't mind marring up my mags in a competition, but if I can make them last a little longer and not worry about scratching them up, beating them up and during practice, then I'll try to do that, because some of these guns and magazines are expensive. So let's see what we can do here. First we'll load and make ready. So make sure nothing's in the magazines. Gun is unloaded. Other magazine is empty. Okay guys, just double check. When you're dry firing, you always want to make sure that your gun is safe. Okay guys, let's start the timer. See what we can do. Alright. So that was a 1.56. It's the first draw of the day. Not too bad. Now we'll try to incorporate a reload. I've got a par time for 5 seconds. Par times just kind of keeps your mind on kind of on what time you're trying to pace yourself for. So let's see what we can do on this next time. Okay. So under 5 seconds I was able to do a shot, a mag change, and another pull of the trigger, even though I'm not getting the click because I'm not cocking the trigger. I'm just pretending like as if there was one already in the chamber and the gun was already cocked because the first one off. So I'm practicing as it would be in the real world and not as it is in dry fire, because I want to kind of, you don't want to get your brain used to doing something in dry fire that you wouldn't do in live fire. So you got to kind of treat it like it is live fire. Okay guys, let's try that again one more time. And it takes me a second because I'm used to guns going off and you can feel it when it goes empty. So trying to do dry fire practice is kind of hard sometimes, because you got to get used to a different kind of sensation and feeling of what you're doing. You have to, has to be more memory and muscle memory than it is actually feeling the gun and what it's doing. You have to just practice what you know to practice and kind of put it in your head to practice it. But it does help a lot in the real world and real competitions. Let's try this again. Safety's on. Gun's ready. Not used to this. Not too used to this gun yet. This is a brand new gun. Well, I've had it for 2 months and I've yet to shoot it in competition, so it's new to me, and I've kind of got it used. It points real natural, but the mag changes and the mag release is different than what I'm used to. So I'm kind of like really kind of having to pay attention to the mag changes a little bit more than my other guns. But let's try it again. Safety on. So that was under 5 seconds. Draw the first shot, reload, and shoot another one. Kind of simulate shooting another one. Let's try this again. See, I'd have been able to shoot like 4 or 5 shots before that timer went off. So basically I would have had a first shot, drop the mag, reload, aim, and I had time to shoot about 5 shots, which is better. A little bit better. Safety on. Let's try this again, cocked. I always want the gun like it's ready to go off on the first dry fire draw to first shot, because you want to get the feeling of that trigger going off and kind of see where your red dot is pointed on the target. Now that target's at 20 yards. 90% of the time, that's a 1x1 at 20 yards. So it's smaller than an IDPA target, but it's a fairly large target. But at 20 yards, you know, that's still a pretty good aiming point. So most of your targets in IDPA is going to be closer than, say, especially your first targets are going to be closer than like 7 yards. So anywhere from 3 to 10 yards is usually what they want to start the targets at, and they're usually between 3 and 5 yards for the first target, but sometimes it can be longer depending on the stage. Alright guys, let's try this one more time. Gun's cocked, safety's on. Let's start the gun, the timer, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was able to do that, and I still delayed on my reload because I kind of forget what I'm doing. This is kind of a new drill to me to kind of practice my reloads. So I'm kind of learning. I kind of made up this drill just for this video and for today's practice. I try to do new things so that I'm not just doing things, you know, that I always do that I'm good at. I'm trying to do things that are different. So I come up with different drills on different days, and I don't get to do this near as often as I like, but it's really good to do this and you learn a lot from it. Let's try it one more time. See what we can do. This is pretty fun. If I could do it for about 20 or 30 repetitions, I'd probably get pretty good at it. Alright. Very good. I was able to get like 6 or 7 shots off after the reload in 5 seconds. So from the time the buzzer went off to 5 seconds, I was able to shoot my first shot, drop the magazine, reload, and shoot about 8 shots. So I can tell I'm giving myself more time. I'm getting it done faster. Still a little bit janky on it because, like I said, this is a new drill, and you got to try new things to get good at what you're doing. And that's part of the fun of it, part of the practice part of it, is doing something you ain't never done. So let's try this one more time, guys. Let's see what we get. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's see what the first shot was at. It's not picking up my first shot. It's basically just, we're just giving ourselves a timer. The phone's not close enough to the gun to hear the click, and there's also some outside wind noise and other noises in the woods. Let's try this one more time. Magazine's in it, safety's on. That's a good shot. Yeah, that's probably one of my best times. Really good. Pretty happy with how this thing points. I'm able to just put the dot right on the target right off the bat. It's no problem. I can see the target every time. I know those will be almost all hits. Even at 20 yards on a 1-foot target, I know I would be hitting the target relatively fast. Could draw and take it. That trigger's almost better than I'm used to, so I have to make sure not to hit it too fast. One thing I have to kind of make sure I'm doing is not hitting it too fast, because I know it's close every time, but if I hit it a little bit too fast, I may miss at 20 yards. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me on this dry fire practice. God bless and have a great day.